So Module 2 continues a little more of the same, where you are talking about yourself. However, in this assignment, you must use one quote, all right? So when you look at the actual outline, and I'll pull up a sample. I want you to notice in here, this section of what's known as a complete attribution. So I'm trying to start off easy by giving you the minimum requirement of only having one source. And this source everybody's going to be using, which is one of the Aesop fables, right? You may have more, and you always get a higher grade if you have, more than the minimum, and the minimum is 1. But if you use any additional sources, you must follow what is known as the proper and complete attribution, all right? So this is the formula. Did I give you the formula yet for attributions? Okay. So here's the formula. At the very top here, you're going to mention the title of the source, okay? And you can do that in a couple of ways. But you always have to, and it may not be in this order of 1, 2, 3, exactly in this order, but you have to have a title, all right? Or some type of a reference to a particular show or what have you, okay? And for this, you've got to then give us an author or an entity, right? You also need to provide us with a publication, or you can say the website. There's an author or an entity, a publication or a website, and you need to give us a date. And it might be the date of the publication originally, or it will be the date of access online. Okay? So you've got some type of a point of reference, the title, etc. But the other 3 elements are what are required for attributions. So you can see that right here, the person is giving us the title, all right? In this instance, it's also the author, okay? You can see it says retrieved on August, and then the date. So that's the date that the person actually found it online, all right? And you can also see that it says website, so we know that it's a website. Do not write here www. All right? Don't do that kind of thing. You can just say the word website. If somebody after your speech wants to know where that website is, then you've got your sources at the end of your speech that you can then give out. All right? But you don't have to be that level of specificity during the speech. Okay. This student, as you can see, gave an additional reference, all right? And was even, again, you've got a date, you've got a website, and you've got the location or title of the source. So you can do additional. And there are, excuse me, the APA or MLA formatting for the source. You don't have to do another page. You just do it at the bottom of your speak outline. Now, a couple of points to remember. And remember, you can always go to the writing lab, is you need to have this information at the top. Your general purpose, there's only one of three options: to inform, to persuade, or entertain. Specific purpose, your thesis, even if you have no visual aids, you're going to say none. If you do, then you add them, because this could be visual aids or props. And then your stage directions at the top are going to be your general ones. Now, this is why it's a script. When you design public speaking notes from a script perspective, that's when you bring out the actor or actress in yourself. And as you can see, there are strategically placed stage directions to help guide you. All right. Now, remember, I recommend that this be bolded. That means you don't read it. You don't say it to the audience. It's a stage direction. You are going to greet and give your name. All right, that's all it is. You are creating these cybernetic impressions in your brain to help you to remember to do this. So, for instance, if you're talking here about your credibility, and there's your cue, be credible, all right? Then when you're giving this part, you want to make it as statements, and you want to sound like you've got power and you've got lots of experience or you've been trained, etc. Notice the preview is broken down into the two parts. And notice the proper outlining lettering. Okay, points will be taken off the next time if these are not done correctly, and the indentations. So if you forget how to do that, watch the video of the professor who shows you how to use Microsoft Word. See the transition? I always think it's helpful to put transitions in italics as another way of doing a type of stage direction mentality. I mean, this is not really all that important, except that it helps to guide your audience through your speech. And then you'll see down here that it's called a signpost. So signposts are used within the body of your speech. Okay? Signposts guide from main point to main point in the body of your speech. Transitions are used to guide your audience from introduction to body, and then again from body to conclusion. Okay. You don't have to do the SSP or the SSP. That's crazy.
Is that the sub-supporting point? Okay.
Sub, which is...
It's supposed to be two?
No, you don't need those. You can just use the number and then have your content. Yeah, the SSP and SP, that's just kind of like ridiculous. Make sure you've got your conclusion. Now, this is going to be informative. You could, to some extent, say it's persuasive too. If your desire is to help your classmates to not make the same mistake that you made, and so you want to persuade or to use you as, a motivational person, then you could change this from memorable thought to a call to action. The difference in those is your purpose. If your purpose is just to educate, all right, just to educate, just to inform, it's typically just a memorable thought, something to help the person remember. But if you are trying to persuade people to do something or to not do something, all right, then that's when a call to action is particularly valuable. Okay? And you can use that instead. All right? So, any questions about the mechanics? Good. All right. So now, when we look at Module 2, I want you to notice in the assignments. Has anybody called dibs yet on your, you did. All right, good. So let's take a look and let's see. All right. Okay, see now this is where it would help to tell us what the title of your fable is. And then that way your classmates can say, oh, she's got the tortoise in the hair. Oh, the milkmaids are taken. Oh, okay, rather than now they have to click on each one. All right, so keep that in mind. You want to use the subject areas. So now the person has to go in and see what it is. All right. So it's just more helpful if you actually put the title there. And in that way, nobody will take it. Because what will happen is if there's doubles, all right, I'm not going to say anything. It'll just, you'll give a speech on the same day as a classmate, and it'll be the same fable, and then it's awkward. Okay. All right. Next. Now, for this speech, you are going to actually deliver them in class, up front, in person, up here with your classmates. However, I'm going to enable your classmates to watch live if they want, but more importantly, I'm going to record you. All right, so I'm going to record you back here on the big camera, and I'm going to actually post it for you to see it and for classmates to see, because again, you'll be doing another peer critique, but it's also continues to see you grow and improve. So I want you to notice your opportunities for what you want to get better and better and better and better at. Now we're going to start doing some playing in class. We're going to start doing some fun impromptus. We're going to start doing some speaking behind a podium to give you comfort with how to use a podium and those kinds of things. So we're going to start giving you more and more experience of practice. Okay? All right. You also have due this semester a speech to critique. Now, this is not as strong of a rhetorical situation, but it is still an opportunity to deliver something. John Lewis is an amazing man, and he recently passed away. And John Lewis was also one of people who marched with Dr. King and was in the House of Representatives. He gives a graduation speech. It's somewhat short. And I picked this one because it was really timely for the importance of people to get out and vote. You'll see here, this article below it, the Bitzer, Lloyd Bitzer, the rhetorical situation, that's this article. Read this first. Then watch Mr. Lewis's speech. And then refer back to that article. Okay? Because that's going to guide you in your criticism. You're going to see the word exigence. In that article. So read what it says. I think this is the one that even has some annotation. Oh, yeah. See, I even have some annotations in here. All right, so I've got some underlines. All right, that will help you to point out some important elements. And again, um, and this is what is used. This will help you, guide you in your readings to see the things that are underlined. Um, Especially like this one, to say that a rhetoric is situational, all those fun things. So it's good. It's a classic. It's what we call a classic seminal work to help people recognize what is good public speaking. All right. I'm going to turn off the camera.